Okay, Becca, we're live.
Hi, EDU300. It's Becca and Billy here, and this is our first GHO optional session with an amazing guest speaker. Tonight we have Alice Barr from Yarmouth High School, who is
Hi.
a Google Apps for Ed guru and a valuable resource, who's going to walk you guys through some basics of using Google Docs, using Google Drive, and hopefully provide some guidance as to how to use the apps that we'll be using throughout the course for creation and collaboration. So welcome, Alice. We're looking forward to your presentation tonight.
Thank you very much, and I'm excited to be here, and welcome to students who are going to be dropping in and out. That's great. And I kind of designed this presentation to be interactive, so there are going to be some things to do along the way. I grabbed a series of tools that I think are really helpful in both schoolwork and work and play too. So I hope that you enjoy it. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And so hopefully you'll be able to see this, and just let me know if things don't work too well. And okay, great. So and just give me the heads up if you can't hear me or something. So this is, we're going to be talking about Google Apps for Education, or its acronym is GAFE, or GAFE. Really is Google Apps for Education. Let me introduce myself. I'm the high school technology integrator. I'm also a Google certified innovator, which means I got to go to Google and do a fire hose day of learning a few years ago, and I now keep up with that. I get to do a lot of professional development, meet people all over the place. My Twitter's at Alice Barr, and I have a link to this presentation, which Billy and Becca will share out probably at the end for you if you miss this. So what really is GAFE or GAFE? Most of you know email and I think most students probably use Gmail now. I know that the University of Maine, certainly, they are a Google Apps for Ed, what we call domain. And what that means is that even though you have @maine.edu on the end of your email, it means that there's a set of tools where everybody has the same kind of mail and a set of tools with the same ending on it. And then you'll see why that's important in a little bit when we do some sharing. The thing is, though, that most people only know about Gmail, and so you're very familiar with Google search, and if you look in the upper right hand corner of your Google search bar, you'll notice like a little waffle right there. That waffle holds the key to a whole bunch of more tools. And I have your tools, if you were to click that, might look a little bit different than mine. I've set mine up the way I use them, but this is the beginning of a set of tools that are available to you with your Google or GAFE account. So you'll notice there's some things in there: calendar, Drive, you've heard about, doc sheets and slides, maps, YouTube. And if you look at the bottom of that list, you'll see a More button. So let's go to another panel of tools. Blogger is part of the Google Apps for Ed tools, Photos, Google Translate. And if you go all the way down to the second panel, you'll actually see that there's a web page that opens up which shows you all of the tools that come when you set up a Gmail account or a Google Apps for Ed. So Gmail is one of the tools in there, and then all of these are part of it. It's pretty amazing. Let me just go back here. Now, Google Apps for Education started out with a very small set of tools, and so I'm going to just pull out a few that I think are really important to kind of have, if you will, in your tool belt. So the first one is Chrome, and Chrome is a browser. Many people use Firefox or Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer really doesn't work very well with Google tools, but Chrome is really the best browser because it's made by Google, and so the Google tools function very well in it. So if you're not using Chrome, it's not a bad idea. Chrome also allows you to link your data, and what that means is that if you sign into your Google account in your Chrome browser, that you can use that account on any machine or any phone or any tablet. Once you log in, all of your stuff is there. So for example, today actually my machine was behaving very badly. I was trying to do a webinar. I jumped on another machine. I logged into my account, and all my extensions were there. All my drive was ready to go. Everything was ready to roll. So you don't. It really helps when if you have a lot of work. If you keep your things in, if you do your work in Chrome and keep them in Google Drive, you're not going to lose them.
Alice, can I say one thing real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, I teach in a room that has 2 MacBook Airs and we have 5 MacBooks. So that's really helpful in the classroom with your kids if you don't have one-to-one as well, because they can hop between any device. And they can pull up all of their data, all of their links really quickly.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I mean, it's so amazing when you're working with kids, especially because things happen to computers all the time. And so being able to hand a student a different computer, have them log in and go is huge. No more lost work.
And even more so when you're working with Chromebooks and students log in and they have access to all of their Google data and information instantly.
Exactly.
And for my kids, especially with 3rd graders, from in any grade, from task to task, depending on the learner and what they're trying to accomplish, it's that flexibility for it to be really efficient, to get in and out and not let that tech get in the way, signing in, signing out. We just want the kids to get the job done and be able to do that easily. So it works nicely.
So one of my favorite features about Chrome is the ability to pin tabs. And what that means is, I hope you can see, can you see my browser window right now?
Yep.
Okay, so you'll see these 4 little tabs on the left-hand side. Let's see if I can possibly zoom. I don't know if, it's not going to let me zoom in. No. Okay. But anyway, and then there's a 5th tab here that's kind of a lot bigger. Well, these tabs that are pinned over to the left, they will stay there. So as you open new tabs, you notice that these tabs over here just stay pinned over to the left, and it's really helpful to be able to get over to your different applications and things that you want to use. So for example, I usually pin my mail over there because I use that a lot, and I want to go back to it. I often pin my drive here. You'll notice I have the UMain login page pinned over there. They just stay there all day long and don't get mixed up with all the other tabs in your browser. The other thing I like about Chrome is extensions. And if you look over here on the right-hand side of my screen, you'll see all these little icons. These are extensions that work with the Chrome browser. And so I just picked 3 that might be of use to you. The first one is goo.gl. Oh, sorry, I should tell you where you get extensions probably first. You get extensions in the Chrome web store, and I usually get them from in your Chrome browser, the first button on the way left is where you can get these applications and things. So goo.gl is an extension that it installs right here and it lets you make a really short link to a web page. So let's look right here. This is the link to this presentation. You would never, ever ask someone to type that in if you were sharing it. Now, because I don't know any of your emails in your class, I couldn't copy and paste this into an email and send it to you, so I need another way to be able to share this document with you. Well, Goo, if I click this, makes a very short, pretty URL and allows you, and again, I'm not able to make my screen go up, it's just cranking very slowly, but this makes a nice short URL that you can put on your board or actually tell kids and they can type it in. It's really, really, really helpful. It also, if you have tablets or mobile devices, it also generates a QR code so that it can take you right to the link that's here. So that's my first favorite.
And I love that. Sorry to interject, Alice, but I love the QR code that you're showing right there. I do quite a bit with QR codes. So when you click on that QR code, you can click, hold, and drag that into a doc. So if you had a, yeah, exactly. You can show that could go right into that presentation. That can go into a doc. It's really easy, just like that. Perfect.
It's really cool, really flexible.
And I know a lot of the QR code readers out there are pretty tough. Like you have to, maybe some have improved, but previously before Goo, I used one. I can't remember the name, and I only got 25 for free, and I have to, you know, if I wanted to go in and reuse them, change URL. That's handy dandy.
And to kind of comment on that also, I find Alice mentioned writing the link on the board. I share a lot of documents with students, and while one option is going to my website to find the link, it's also so much easier to write the shortened link from Goo on the board as opposed to the really lengthy initial URL. So it's a really helpful tool to save time and save students from, you know, spending a lot of energy trying to get every single character correct. It's much easier that way if you want to share a document.
Right. And you also may end up in a school where students don't have email. They may not have email turned on. And so if you want to use the Google Apps for Ed suite, this is a really great way to share out, as Becca said. So my next little tool is Side Notes. Are you guys familiar with Side Notes?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not myself.
Okay, so I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to the product page here. Side Notes allows you to actually add a panel to the right-hand side of any web page, and you can come in here and you can actually type notes. And if you notice, right here is a little green blinking button. When I'm typing, it turns yellow. It's actually saving this note, and it saves it to Dropbox.
Oh, cool.
So, and then down here at the bottom where it says Side Notes, you actually click this. It will take you, or it did before, take you to all your notes. So you can, it saves them kind of in a nice panel. Now, and when you come back to web page, side. Isn't that cool?
Super cool.
And
then,
for those of you, sorry, Alice, who
go ahead.
are unfamiliar with Dropbox, don't know what saves to Dropbox means, don't worry. We'll get there later on, but right now it's a good tool to use in the future or now if you're comfortable with Dropbox. And feel free to email us or ask about setting up a Dropbox account, what Dropbox actually means if you're unsure. I know there's a lot of new language for some of you and familiar language for others, so don't worry about it. We're here to clarify anything.
Okay, and then the other one that I'm going to show you, the last little thing, is sticky notes. Now let's see, I need Side Note to close here. So I'm going to close that. And this one is Note Anywhere. So it's the same idea. You can go to any web page and put a sticky note on it. I'm just going to copy this URL because I put a sticky note on here that said there's so many cool tools. Now, if I close this page and I come over here and open it in a new tab, there's my sticky note right there.
That's nice.
So
I've never used that one. I love it.
For research, it's fabulous, and they just stay there. It's so cool. So
nice.
those are what extensions are.
Hold on, Alice. I'm going to download that one right now. Okay.
Okay.
That's nice. Great. That's very cool.
So there are links. If you're coming to this presentation later, there are links to all of these. You'll notice they're in blue, so that if you want to get those yourself, you certainly can, but just by clicking the links.
All right. Can we pause to say hi to Caitlin, who's joined our chat? Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
You've got the camera. I'm so impressed.
I did.
Hey,
welcome to the chat.
Hi. Who else is on here?
It's Becca, Billy, and Alice Barr, the tech integrator from Yarmouth High School, who's a GAFE Google Apps for Ed guru and is working through some tools to help us with productivity and research, keeping track of resources you find. And we just went through a little introduction to Chrome and Chrome extensions, which will be posted on air so you can go back in time. But now I'm just glad that you're joining us for the rest of Alice's little tutorial.
Yes, me too.
Welcome.
I didn't mean little to sound demeaning. I'm sorry, Alice. Amazing.
No, please. Please.
And Caitlin, if you got any questions, you can feel free to interject anytime, ask questions. That's why Alice is here. Or just sit back and listen to Alice. And just so you know, Alice is one of the most famous GAFE people in Maine. She's absolutely awesome. Very knowledgeable. If you talk GAFE in Maine, everybody knows Alice Barr.
Oh, thanks, you guys. Because I'm the never anyway. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Now let's see if we'll behave here after I. Come on. There we go. All right, ready for our next one? Our next one is Google Docs. So Google Docs, most people I think know the word Google Docs, but if you don't, we're going to do a little bit of a demo here. So Google Docs is stored inside Google Drive, which we're going to look at in a minute. A Google Doc works like any word processor, but the power of it really is that multiple people can share, work, and edit in a Google Doc at the same time. And for me, that is huge. I cannot imagine anymore not being able to work with lots of other people. So that the example I'll use is Becca, Billy, and I haven't seen each other face to face to plan this course at all. It's all been done completely online, at least their part with me. And everything, we were able to work in the same documents. Here we are in the same Hangout. All that work was able to be done without us having to schedule a meeting and get together. The other powerful thing about Google Docs is that you can hyperlink out to other materials. It also has a research tool, and we're going to look at these in a minute. And then what I would love for you guys to do is to actually try this doc. So we're going to get in here together. So this is a case where, whoops, sorry. This is a case where it's not letting me, I'm sorry, it's not letting me blow up my screen.
Okay.
Interesting. I was just trying to blow it up so that you could see, but maybe
we can see that pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes.
So it is case sensitive.
So we're typing this in our URL now. See if we can get in here.
So just make sure Alice is I see Billy. I need to see Alice and her URL.
Okay, is
Can't
she
see
on?
it.
Yeah, you can see that. Oops. We good there?
I can, Billy, why don't you,
There we go.
yeah, okay, maybe put it right in the doc.
If you copy and paste that into the chat box, Alice, we could all just click on it.
Okay, I will do that.
Thinking.
Yeah. And that's another great part about Google Hangouts on air. So, Caitlin, if you kind of hover your mouse to the left, you can see there's at the top there's a little chat box. Can you see that? It's a blue box.
I'm on my phone doing that. Is it different?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might not be able to hop in.
So Caitlin, I put in the document itself. If you type this in your browser, you should be able to still come in. So it's goo.gl.
Okay. I'm with you over there. goo.gl.
Cool.
/
Okay.
capital V4.
I got capital V for lowercase s. Is that an O or a 0?
Yep. I think it's an O. And then GH.
I always hate that when you can't decide whether it's an O or a 0.
I think it might be.
I got a 0.
It's a 0.
Okay, it's 0. Okay. So great. So here we all are. If you look in the upper right-hand corner here, you'll see an icon of Billy, an icon of Becca, and Caitlin, is it?
Yes.
Okay, Caitlin, that's probably you, and we only know that because you're the only one without an icon right now, so by default we know who you are. But normally when somebody comes in who doesn't have editing access or doesn't have an icon with their Google account, they come in as anonymous animals.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what that means. So when I'm working with people on a Google Doc, one of the things that happens is that everybody can go in here and type at the same time, and it's really messy. So what I like to do is assign students a number and then have each student be that number in the document. It just it sort of spreads things out. So Billy, why don't you be 3, Becca, you be 2, Caitlin, you be 1, and I'll be 4. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay. And then write one fact.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh wow, Caitlin, that's cool.
Oh, fun. Me too.
Overseas.
We have a lot of overseas people here. Becca.
I like that. It was great. I got to stay there by myself for 4 days. Family left. I got to
Oh,
hang out
gosh.
with Florence. It was amazing.
Oh my
One
gosh.
way to extend the vacation.
So the power of this is that so this is great. It's even more fun when we're all able to talk and chat by doing this in a Hangout, but with kids in the classroom, I really recommend doing a low stakes activity the first time you introduce Google Docs because it's messy and it can be crazy and kids love trying to see if they can erase each other's work and all that kind of stuff. Then the other thing you could do is what's really important about Google Docs is that you can highlight any word in your document and you can actually create a link. So you can link out to other things. So if I, actually I could change this now. I taught in Columbia for 4 years, right? When I highlight Columbia and hit that link button, you'll see underneath in the document that it's actually searching right on the internet for me. So I can either use the search tool here, or I could, if I already had a link that I wanted to share that linked to Kali, I could actually paste that in. So I'm going to put the Wikipedia article in here and apply it. And you'll notice now Kali Columbia is underlined and in blue. And if I click on that, it shows me it's a linked item. I can click on that and off I go. So there it is. There's the information about Kali. So
Nice.
it's really, it's such a great way to sort of organize information for a lesson or a unit. Any little tips in there that you guys want to add?
Well, I'm wondering where you're going. Does the rest of your presentation talk about commenting or no?
I wasn't going to do commenting tonight, but I did want to show this tool right here, the research tool.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure people are familiar with that.
Oh, sorry, Alice. Afterwards, I'd like to just quickly touch on commenting, as I think some students might want to do that for our chat.
Okay.
Or
great.
But
and after you do that, Becca, I got one quick couple things I'd like to talk about what I do in my class with my kids that I really find beneficial.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the research tool over on the right, again, it's a Google search tool. So again, if I put in Kali Columbia, you'll notice that there's a G here. It actually goes out and finds me different web results, some data and things. I can pull that information in. I can also switch this tool to just images. And so if I want a picture here, I can actually just drag that right into my document. And what's really cool is once it's dragged in, down here at the bottom of the page, it actually gives me a link to that image. If I want to use the search tool and I find a website that I want to use, let's say this one, I can insert that link and it will also cite my source for me. So you'll see the little 2 right here, and then down at the bottom of the screen it's already cited.
Awesome.
So that is a really great way to collect your research resources. Go ahead, you guys, and add what you want.
So for quickly modeling commenting, I think if we just keep Alice's screen up, it should work. But I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm going to go and highlight.
Becky, you can share your screen if you want. I'll click over to you.
Yeah, I can go off and you can go on.
Yeah, just, I mean, really quickly.
Yeah.
All right, so here in my screen, are you guys good?
We're good. We got you.
So just to show commenting, because some of our discussion will be based in your own documents and commenting on each other's discussion posts, like this week's connections between Google Apps for Ed and the ISTE standards. To make a comment, it's as simple as highlighting something. So I'm going to highlight Caitlin's comment here. And to be honest, this little comment box, that's new to me. When did that appear, guys?
That is new.
It's as simple as clicking on add a comment, and I can say, hey, that sounds awesome. I would love to hear more.
So Caitlin, this would be a great, when we're commenting with each other in class, this would be the feature. Maybe if a certain piece of their work resonated with you or you connected with a certain part, you could highlight that portion and then do what I just did there to comment, because we're required to comment with 2 people throughout the week.
So you just highlighted, and then is it the comments button that's right next to the share button at the top, or is it somewhere in the toolbar?
What? That's a really good question. So try highlighting something quickly.
Okay.
Do you see along the right-hand margin a little comment icon? If you look at my screen share, I'm going to highlight something as well. It looks like this little dialog box.
That is brand new, and that is awesome.
That is brand new.
That's new.
That's brand new.
And that's another great thing about Google is they're always improving their tools.
I mean, honestly, I felt a little bit crazy because I saw that today and thought, how long has that been there? So
Yeah. The one constant about Google is it changes.
That's
so you can
legitimate.
also, Caitlin, highlight something and then click up here, add comments. There we go. Is that you?
Yep.
I'm adding a
Nice.
comment to Florence. So you've got it.
So
Nice.
okay, so I just highlighted it and hit that one up by the share in the top right-hand corner.
Right. So
Yep.
anything that looks similar probably has the same function. With some things, it's a matter of trial and error, what does what. And if I decide that I'm glad that anonymous skunk commented to Florence, but I've acknowledged it and I'm done, you can then go over and click resolve as evidence that you've addressed that comment.
Okay. How did Alice and Billy is what you go by, right? Billy, not William. It's Billy.
Yeah.
How did you guys reply off of Becca's?
Ooh, all right. So Caitlin, make another comment.
Okay. I'll just do the same one. Okay. I see it now. Okay, that looks like Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, and Caitlin, you can click on Becca. You see Becca's name. Click on her name, where her comment is.
Okay.
Yeah, click on her, and then you.
There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool, right?
Okay, that is cool. Okay.
I feel sort of silly for not thinking about commenting to myself. But so then, it just keeps going. You can edit your comments. If I decide that yay seems unprofessional, I can do that. I mean, really, whatever works. So, do you feel comfortable with the commenting, Caitlin?
Yes.
All right,
Cool.
so I will unshare my screen.
And Becca, can we pause for one moment? There's good timing there. Emma just joined. I'm not sure if Emma can hear us.
She's muted.
She's muted.
I'm going to stop sharing so we can go to Emma.
Yeah. Hi, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
I don't think she can hear us. Hello. Oh, she's in the chat box.
So then maybe we can. I can hear you. So Emma, at the top of your screen, if you sort of drag your cursor up, you'll see a sort of transparent toolbar that has a microphone, a camera, a volume thing, the settings, gearbox, and a red phone. Yep. So try clicking on that microphone. It should say either mute or unmute. Yay! Emma, are you there? Hello? Can you hear me?
I can barely hear her.
Yeah, I'm trying to adjust her mic because I have some different settings on my side. But well,
We're glad you're here, Emma. Try yelling.
the only other recommendation that we could give you is to restart your computer and come back in, and typically that. And you might be some of the share settings. She just said for the people at home, it says my computer mic isn't working. So there might be in your browser settings, you might have to adjust some of that, or just give yourself turn it off, restart, and and most of the time it'll work.
Or if you want for now, this is totally up to you. You can listen to the rest of the presentation. We'll pay attention to your contributions to the chat, and we can try troubleshooting afterwards. Whatever works for you, Emma.
All right, can I quickly just show one last thing, and then we can move on to the next phase? All right, I'm going to share mine. Can you guys see that here?
Yes.
I guess I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The first point I want to make, I mean, I use all of these tools with third graders, so it takes a little time to kind of build up the capacity to use them. But once you get there, it makes your workflow as a teacher just incredibly easy and so much more manageable. And my students can do that. So if third graders can do it, any of us can do it. Just about at the beginning of the year, building that in, or whenever you start, building that into your routines and getting used to these tools. So don't let them scare you away, because there is a lot we're throwing at everyone. Second, the one tool that I love and I use, especially for my students who are just, is voice typing. So sometimes, a third grader or any student will have a hard time just getting those words out from their mind to the paper or to the doc. And so to kind of help them out, for me to really get a real good sense of what they know, voice typing is great. Also, when a student doesn't know a word, they'll use voice typing, and it works as simple as this: tools, voice typing, and this will pop up. This is a great accessibility feature, and I can click on it. It's gonna say use your microphone. I'll allow that. Oh, pause it. This has been a great tutorial so far, period. Thank you, Alice, period. And I can turn it off, and there you go. So if the typing's getting in the way for your students, or if you need accessibility features for any reason, this is awesome. Especially, like I said, for my third graders, if they don't know a word, they can look it up, but they can also speak it.
Right.
And I think more and more teachers are using it to do recommendations and write IEPs, and it's all kind. I mean, there's so many uses for it. But it's another reason you need to use Chrome browser, is because it only works in Chrome browser.
Right.
So it's so great for kids to be able to have that accessibility. Really, it's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I stuck it actually back in the presentation. So
thanks, Alice.
Sure. Are we ready to go on?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So kind of the next thing we'll talk about a little bit is the share button in that Google Doc. You'll notice that in the upper right-hand corner of many of the Google tools, you'll see the account that you're logged in with. So you'll see that I'm at alice.barr@maine.edu, and underneath it is a blue share button. And there are different ways to share a document. So every single document that you create has a unique link to it, which means that you can send your document to someone via a link, and that person can access it. You can invite other people to work on your document simply by putting their email addresses in. You can ask them to be editors, so all of you are editors in this particular document, because you can go in and write, or you can make some of your documents view only so that people cannot make changes to it. If you notice that mine originally, I actually changed this a minute ago, but mine says anyone at the University of Maine system who has my link can edit this document. That's how this was set, right? It shows that Alice Barr at Maine EDU is the owner, and then you'll see another Alice Barr, that's my personal email. So both my personal and Maine accounts can edit this document. Now, there are, in in a Google Apps for Ed domain, there are 5 levels of sharing. So it's you have a lot of flexibility. So we're going to start from the bottom and work up. So specific people means that if I share a document with Billy, only Billy and I can work on that document, and that's it. If I go up one level to anyone at the University of Maine system with the link, then that means that anybody who's in the University of Maine Google Apps for Ed domain can look at it, but they can't search for my document. So, so they would have to actually have the link to be able to work on it or even see it. The next level up is anybody at the University of Maine can find and access the document. So that means that it's a searchable document, but only within the university system. So like we use at our school, we have our student handbooks and things. Those kinds of things might be anyone at Yarmouth School Department can find and access. We want people to be able to search for those things. The 4th level up is anyone with the link. Means anyone, literally. As long as they have the link to your document, they can work or view on it. It is not, however, searchable. And then finally, at the top level, public on the web means that it's a searchable document. You do a Google search, you'll find the document. So this is like amazing to me. I feel that Google Docs can actually become web pages. And so a lot of when we do our first kinds of training with people, we'll do an exemplar of using a Google Doc as a web page. So I have a little link down here, and I'm going to click on it. And this is really sort of corny, but here's my newsletter, Happy Spring even. How about that? But this is an example of a document that's anyone with the link can view. So let me go. I know that you all probably can't click on that link just now, but this is an example of where a teacher and students could work together with editing permissions on a document, but it could be shared to anyone with the link can view, which means it could go home to parents who are outside of the domain. In other words, kids inside the domain are working on it, editing, but parents wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't want to share this specifically with parents because they're not in your domain. You want to actually be able to just let them open it up and view it. Questions about that?
I was just gonna say that's one of my favorite parts about Google Docs. And if you were to go to my website, I actually do that same thing. I have different resource docs for people to access and check out, and I hyperlink them all, and they're extended right off my web page because instead of having to update my web page, it's just easier for me to update that Google Doc. That's just kind of how it's just, in this right here with the page you have up, Alice, it may be a little overwhelming at first, but that flexibility is what makes it so awesome. Is being able to very specific.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
That's what I was going to say, that I like having the option to have some things public for parents, community, and then other things private for students without having to navigate different accounts. It's a matter of just choosing the appropriate settings.
Yep. And again, like we said, with all these docs, your use will evolve over time. So don't let it overwhelm you. It will evolve over time. Things will get easier for you, and you chip away. You start to figure out things you can do. And in my practice with docs, it's always evolving. You know, it's always evolving how I use things, and that will come for you guys too.
And without going too much into details now, I like also that on my classroom website through Google, I can post announcements and homework and documents that I want anyone to access, but also post links that only my students can access, and they're all in the same place. Yeah. So if students are working collaboratively on a project, I can post a reminder like, hey, the slideshow you're working on as a group, you can access here, but only those with permissions can access that link. Otherwise, it shows up as, you need permission. So it can all be housed in one place, but with different levels of discretion, which is helpful.
And I think what the other really important thing, maybe I said this already, but when a change is made to this document, then it's automatically reflected on anybody who's looking at it. That change goes to everybody's viewing capabilities, that it's looking at that document. And I think one of the most powerful things here is this is a way to push out student work. This is a way for parents to be able to celebrate what's going on in classrooms, because kids can actually get in here and do the work. Our newsletters in our elementary classes are often written by students during the week, and then they get together with the teacher on Friday and they produce the weekly newsletter together.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
great.
stealing that idea.
What?
I think I'm going to steal that idea. That's great.
Yeah, it's really, and I mean, think of all the cool stuff that kids are taking pictures of or drawing or all those kinds of things, and parents want to see that stuff, and this is a really easy way to do it. So yes, please steal.
Yes.
Okay. So are we ready for our next tool? We're sort of flying through these. All right, next, Google Drive. Okay, and Google Drive, I feel like, is a filing cabinet in some ways. However, it's an interesting filing cabinet because both tools and files are stored in this thing. So it's really kind of a big program in a lot of ways. So it keeps track of all your files, right, that you create. So, for example, your Google Docs are stored in Drive. It also contains the application Google Slides, Google Forms, Google Sheets, and a lot more. I just pulled up those for the moment. I have an example on the right-hand side of my screen that there are two kinds of files. There are files that you create, and there are files that are shared with you. So we'll look at those in just a second. You already know how to share files. We just did that, but you can also share folders in Google Drive, which is really cool. My little tips are to know your icons. So you notice how each tool I've sort of made these icons blow up. That's because it's really helpful to know what icon belongs to each kind of document. So again, we'll look at that in just a sec. And then the More button. The More button is where all kinds of things are hidden or buried, or I don't know what you want to call it. But so I'm going to come out of my presentation, and because I pinned my drive over here, I'm going to click once on that, and now you'll see this is my Google Drive. And I sure wish I could blow things up for you guys. Oh, there, now it's working.
I can see it.
It looks good. It looks clear to me.
It's okay? All right.
Yeah.
So the important thing about my drive is that it's a little messy. Everybody should just, you have to get used to, if you're a neat person and really organized, this is going to be a little bit of a shift. But if you don't care and you don't, if you're not a person who files things, then you'll be perfectly comfortable in here. It's the opposite of what we as teachers are used to.
Becca and I cringe here, Alice.
I'm sorry? You're what?
I'm just kidding. I said Becca and I are cringing over here.
Are you neat people or messy people?
I'm super organized, so I'm just joking.
I want to be organized. I have a growth opportunity there, but anyway. Continue, Al. Sorry.
Well, but Google gets us out of that, you see, because you can search right here in this bar up here. You can search for anything. And so you don't need to necessarily file. What?
Sorry to interrupt you, but I do that all the time. Like if I have an idea of what I'm looking for, because I have so many folders like you, I just do a quick search, and it's so intuitive too. You don't always have to have the correct thing typed in there. You can just put one word, and it'll pop up. It's pretty neat.
Right. See, so here's EDU300. It finds all my EDU300 documents.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Pretty good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I also find that naming your files is important. Like putting dates on them is really helpful if you're, depending on how you personally organize things. But let's look inside Drive for just a minute. So on your Drive over here, there's a tiny triangle over to the left. And I like this method for organizing here. I like to be able to see all my folders over here on the left-hand side, even though they show up here. I just like them over here because when I click on one of them, it will show me what's inside of it. So you'll see that EDU300 here has a list of documents inside of it. Now, when I say know your icons, this is why you want to know your icons. So the blue square with lines is Google Docs. And if you notice up here on my menu bar, there's also a blue document with lines. So those means they're Google Docs. And it's really helpful to just know, when you're looking for things in a hurry, it's helpful to know what each of these icons is. So just really quickly, Docs, Slides, Draw. This is a spreadsheet. Let's see what else I can find for you. There's probably
I've been loving Java this year, Alice.
Have you?
I've been utilizing a lot more with the kids, and it's pretty sweet.
Good. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're going to do Draw in a sec, hopefully, if we have time.
I have time.
Caitlin and Emma, we can see you both. How you feeling? Do you have any questions? Just know we can stop at any time and ask any more questions you need to clarify anything.
I don't really use Google Drive a lot, just because the only thing that I have that runs through Google is my USM email address, and I have that email address forwarded to my own personal email address, so like I don't use a lot with that email or whatever. So I'm just now getting more into the Google stuff, and I just noticed that it automatically set up a classroom folder and then an EDU300 folder, and I was looking and looking and looking yesterday for where my module 1 thing was saved, because I was like, I don't know where it's saved. It didn't save. I can only access it online, but it's saved in this folder, so I'm having an epiphany right now.
That's awesome. That's what we want.
I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I was gonna bring up that point. It's nice because it's so intuitive. It takes anything you do for your module or for that activity, and it puts it right into that folder, so you can access everything nicely. It's awesome.
And it already organizes it for me, so it's good.
It's like
it's
assistant.
nice you're getting the Google tools because, like we said before, the important thing to remember is it's about meeting your students where they are. And most schools in Maine are GAFE schools. They're Google Apps for Education schools. So these are the tools. When you go out there and you're trying to find a job, you're in an interview, you're going to need to know how to use these tools if you want to teach in a Maine school. So you're going to have to learn sometime.
All right. Alice, how are you?
Good. Should we keep going?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when you click on any file in your Drive, you'll notice that up here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll notice that the icons, there are a bunch of icons here. So this first one gives you the link to this document if you needed to send it to somebody. Or this one allows you to share. So see, there's our sharing panel. You can preview your document, what it looks like. Okay, so that's my spreadsheet. I probably shouldn't have done that. Nope, I shouldn't have. Oh boy, here we go. I might have to close my drive and go open it again. Oh, maybe here. Come on, nope. Sorry guys, gotta close it. And I'll just quick bring it up again.
Yeah, while Alice is doing that, Caitlin, you talked about being new to Google, downloading Chrome and following what she's doing with pinning those tabs. And I don't know if you're on at the beginning, but she kind of walked through the process of pinning tabs. It makes life so much easier. For example, I have a whole slew of tabs pinned. So when I open my browser in the morning, I have, PowerSchool to take attendance. I have my email. I've got Drive. I've got Classroom. I've got Seesaw in my web builder. So you get the point is I start my computer up at school and poof, everything pops up. Everything I need, and I know where it is. I don't have to go around chasing it. It just makes things a lot more easy and efficient for me to work with.
Mm-hmm. And before Alice continues, you guys might have noticed that a few times my video image in the corner has changed to my logo and that it's shown that I've been muted. If you guys feel like you need to take a step away, go get a drink of water, run to the bathroom, make some noise, talk to someone in your house, you can really easily just go up to that transparent or translucent toolbar at the top of your screen and click either mute microphone or mute camera. Take a step away, go do what you need to do, and then come back and unmute yourself so you don't need to feel as if you're trapped. I just went to get a drink of water and put on some chapstick, and then I came back. So just feel comfortable.
So, okay, so you can drag files into any folder that you want to, so that's really helpful. That's just like you're probably used to on your computer. The other thing is you may see some little people next to each file. That means it's being shared. If I control click on anything, or let's see, on the PC it would be probably, it might be control as well. You get a sub menu here, a right click menu, and these are all kinds of things that you can do as well. So for example, if you want to move a file to a different folder, you could do that here. You could add a star to it. You can change the color of the folder if you want. So I want to make it red because I want it to stand out. All of those things are just done by control clicking. Okay?
Can I just say, Alice, for me, that's one of the biggest features, is being able to control click, and you can pretty much see anything you can do with that doc. So definitely keep that one in your back pocket.
Right. Yeah. Now, starred items just mean they're things that maybe you work on all the time. It's kind of like pinning tabs, but it's in your drive. And so if you click starred, any items that are starred just are separated out. I use this when I'm working on a bunch of projects and I'm just too lazy to go through the folders, or so I star things that I work on all the time. You could, if you have your kids turning in certain kind of work, you could star it, and then when you unstar it, it's going to go away from the list. So to unstar it, you control click and remove star, and now it won't show up in this list anymore. Okay? And then we want to take a quick look at shared with me. This is where documents that other people have shared come into. In other words, it's sort of the funnel that receives all of the things that other people share with you. So you'll see that I have my class that I run in the summer. People share a folder with me, and it comes into my shared with me. Now, you can take things out of shared with me and put it up into your drive if you want to organize. So a lot of people like to do that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Sorry to cut you off again, Alice. I feel like I keep doing
No
that.
problem. No. It's fine.
Yeah, but what I love is sometimes what the complaint is I hear from teachers, and one I had myself was, okay, someone shares it with me, but then say what if someone shared something with me 8 months ago, and I have this long list of shared needs, and what do I do? And so if you right control click, you can add that to your drive and organize it within your drive.
Right.
I mean, it still stays as that person's folder. There it is right there. So you can go move to, and you can add it to your drive. So if Becca and I share anything with you, or anybody shares anything with you, go ahead and you can move to add it right to your drive, and you can put it in your folder how you want to organize it and access it at any time.
Right. That's huge.
It is huge. Pretty cool.
And when I practice with students, we always try to have them take a shared document, file it immediately. That's just good practice. Name it, file it.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks, Alice.
Okay. Other things about Drive that I missed? Oh,
No.
yes. Sorry. Yes. Big thing. This is where you get your apps. Yeah, I almost forgot this whole part. This is like the most important here, right? So you can create new folders. You can bring in files. So if you have a Microsoft Word document and you want to bring it into your Google Drive, or if you have a photo and you want to bring it into your Google Drive, you can do a file upload. In fact, you can do a whole folder upload. This is where you create a new doc, a new spreadsheet, new slides. So if I click on Google Docs, you see that it takes me right to the Google Doc and expects me to name it.
Sorry, where I want to send
Okay.
like some sort of flashing marquee to a few students who were asking, how do I create a doc? We'll have to remember where we are in time to direct students to this moment, because that's a real quick, easy, how do you create a doc? It's as easy as clicking on new and clicking on doc. So
Right.
no to us, Billy.
Yeah, and also just the kind of quick, once you start to build your drive up, if you want it in a certain folder, just recommend opening that folder. So whatever folder you're in, when you press new and go to doc, it will show up in that folder. Yeah, there you go. So Alice is now in EDU300, and she'll open a doc, and it'll be in that folder. That's
So
kind of
it's
important.
asking me. It's just reminding me, do you want to create this document in a shared folder? And what that means is that document's going to take on the same sharing permissions as the folder has. So it's shared with me, my personal account, and anyone with the link can view. So if I say okay, then let's just double check that. Give it a sec. She says, maybe I have to name it. Interesting. Are we not behaving tonight? Oh, there. It switched. Scared me. Okay, so I'm going to go down here to advanced, and you'll see that I'm the owner. My personal account can edit. Okay, that's what I have for that folder. Sorry, I don't have it. Anyone can view. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the one other thing in here is don't forget about the More button at the bottom of New, because there's more stuff. So there's forms, which we're hopefully we probably won't be able to look at, but forms, drawings, maps, and then you can also add more tools. So this one tool I have added called Lucid Chart is a mind mapping tool. There's lots of other things that you can connect. So way back at the beginning of this presentation, I talked about more tools coming out of the waffle here. Right here is the waffle. But if you come here and you go to New, More, Connect More Apps, there is even more stuff. So that's for another time. but you should just know it's there.
And I think we'll send out a survey after more students have seen this video about what they would like to know more, and then, you know, follow up accordingly.
Yeah,
Because this
you
is
go.
what you want more of.
Yeah.
I just want to do a time check.
Yeah, we're.
How's Alice? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I could talk about Google forever.
Caitlin, Emma, how are you guys doing?
We're good.
Feeling comfortable, overwhelmed, feeling okay?
No, I'm good.
That's good.
Emma's smiling, so that's good.
Yes. Nice.
All right, then we're going to move on to my next tool. Here we go. Google Draw. Okay, Google Draw. So Google Draw, as Billy mentioned before, you can use this tool to make diagrams, you can make images, you can bring in pictures, you can create infographics, and those drawings can go into docs and slides, or you can download them and use them in other programs. They export as JPEGs or PNGs.
Mm-hmm.
But the huge thing is that you can share these the same way you can as a doc. So multiple people can work on these drawings. So I thought we would work on a drawing together. Okay, so you have a link there to try.
Can we put that in the chat box again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting.
It's all good.
I'm going to try and find my chat box. If I lose you guys, I'll just come back.
All right, so wait, Caitlin, if you go to the left of your screen, a window should, like...
See where I am right here?
Like a strip of options. Do you see that if you go to the right of the screen?
I'm on the iPhone, so I think it's like condensed. It's not.
Oh boy, I need Billy or Alice for that one. I haven't done the iPhone Hangout yet.
No, I haven't either.
I never do because it's not enough real estate. So. But do you want me to read it to you? I'm happy to read it to you.
Well, maybe, okay, I'm going to see if because I'm on some type of chat thing. Hang on. I'm going to send it.
Emma, are you seeing it okay? There you go.
So I sent a hi message. I don't know if I'm in the right message.
Oh,
Okay,
I see
so,
what you're at. Yeah, you're in the actual, you're in the event page chat box.
So then wait, though, Billy, if you're there too and you see her, will you copy and paste it?
Oh, now we're thinking.
That's what I'm here for.
Bingo. Let's see, all right? I just pasted it.
Perfect. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Get
wow.
it?
Looks like Alice has something really fun planned here that I'm going to steal.
Well, I can't take credit for this. This is from Casey Bell. If you know Casey Bell, she's a Google certified trainer, and she has a great blog called Shake Up Learning. And I just thought this would be a lot of fun for us to try out. She has 3 or 4 different kinds of these. The latest one that she has is Winter Wonderland, but I just love the refrigerator in this. So the refrigerator is an image that's been brought into this draw document, and then these are text boxes. And you can click on the edge of the text box, and you can pull it into the middle of the...
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
I love it.
So cool.
So
let's do it.
Like, with a shout out to Casey and with, like, thumbs up from Emma and Caitlin, could I do a quick screen cap of this for, like, later collaborative tweeting? Yeah, thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Fine? All right, there we go.
Billy, did you
We're
see the tweet?
Beautiful.
Okay.
What's that, Alice?
Did you see Jeff's tweet that just came out. He was looking for a link. I don't know if you.
Oh, hold
Yes.
on.
I just saw that. Hold on, I got it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You can,
So
can hop
all
in the
you
room if
do.
you want.
All you do is grab the text box, it puts a blue line around it, and then you pick it up and move it to where you want. So we could do a little collaborative poem here. So Emma and Caitlin, were you able to get in okay?
I am. Yeah.
Or can you add Jeff faster, Billy?
Sure, I'll invite him in. This is the power of the PLN girls that we're talking about.
And if you don't know what the heck Billy just said, don't worry about it. We'll get into it next week. But having other teachers who actively engage with what you're doing based on things like
Yay,
how
Emma's
much
in.
fun you're having.
So Emma, I see that you came in. That's awesome. Why don't you see if you can grab one of these and move it in. So you just click on it, and then you put your mouse over the blue line and drag it into the middle.
So it's not letting me move it because
Yeah,
I only have
really?
blue only. Is that correct?
It's not letting me drag either.
Huh.
Alice, are you clicking over the whole screen?
No, I just went off of it to make sure. See if you can.
Letting me click on the items because I'm a view only. I don't think I can move
Oh,
them.
yeah, that's what it is. We're view only.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Jeez.
hey. Here's a good model on how we can actually share it. It is Jeff.
I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to say, instead of anyone with the link can view, I'm going to change that to edit.
Hi, Jeff.
I'm going to save it. Okay, and done. Now you guys ought to be able to go in there and grab things.
And I refresh my browser window. I don't know if you have this in a separate window.
Yeah.
But, ooh.
There, I see 4 people in here so far. There, people are picking. Isn't that cool?
I love it.
Okay, so we're just taking the words and dragging them in.
Yep, we're going to try to make a poem here.
So, Caitlin, Emma, can you guys click on things and drag them?
Let me see. I think mine's still loading. 1 second. It says reconnecting.
Yeah, this is cool.
So, Caitlin, you are moving things because you see the green line around the word? Oh, no, that's Billy. Sorry. I thought that. Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm green.
That's Caitlin.
All right, so Emma, are you in the doc yet? Or
Yeah,
in
she
the
is.
draw? Okay.
Okay.
You know what I've been doing, Alice, is having the students create graphic organizers with Google Draw quite a bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Charts, KWL charts, Venn diagrams, having them build them from scratch, and some of them, of course, I've modeled for them, but pretty neat.
Yeah, it's really a fabulous. It's very underused. I think a lot of people don't know because it's in that more but under the more, and people just don't know it's there, and it's really quite a powerful. Younger kids have done. I've seen label the bird. Somebody puts a bird in, and you drag all the parts over. I've seen cell biology done. I've seen the 50 states. It's really fabulous.
Great for infographics.
Yep.
Mm.
So, and the kid, older kids could create their own sort of background. We put this out. We have what we call a blog called Brain Candy, which is stuff for kids to do during study hall. And this is one of the things that goes out. So students get together and create these. Then we print them out and throw them up on the wall. So very fun.
I love it.
Yeah, super cool.
Okay. All right. Nice job. We tweet for life.
Tweet for life.
Download Drive with me. Very nice. All right. All right. I'm gonna are you up for? I have 2 more tools. I can do 1, 2, or none. You guys tell me.
What do you got in the docket?
Keep, Google Keep, and then I was gonna do Forms and Sheets. Maybe we skip Forms and Sheets? Or do you want to see that?
Ladies, let's leave it up to you two. Do you want to learn about any of those? Caitlin
I think I could figure out Forms and Sheets. I'm kind of familiar with it. It's more so having someone tell me what I've kind of figured out. So I think that's good with Forms, with Forms and Sheets. So whatever that other thing was, because I have no idea what Google Keep is.
What about you, Emma? You cool with either, Emma? Okay, we can't hear her.
Oh, poor Emma has no mic. You can type in the chat box, though. This is me doing type in the chat box. And also, like, high five to Caitlin for honesty. Like, that's what we want to see. If you feel like you've got it, tell us you've got it so, you know, we give you what you need. But what I'm thinking, Alice, is maybe go to Keep, because it is getting a little late, and I think, like anything involving Billy and myself, there's been too much random side talking.
Yeah.
And now there's, like, random side Caitlin. And this has been so valuable, and maybe we could talk about a Google Apps with Alice session 2 down the road.
Sure.
Based on, you know, people want it. Yeah.
Wait, where's Caitlin?
This has been awesome. This has been really well done, Alice. This is great. And you know, as we know, Drive and Docs are in Chrome even those are the 3, at least for this course, the 3 big ones.
Right. And those are what we'll be starting out with pretty hard early on. So Alice, while you roll into Keep, I'm going to quickly mute myself so that I can go get my laptop cord, and then I'll be back. But this is great. I'm loving it.
Okay, so last tool, Keep. And Google Keep really is just a notepad, but it connects to Google Drive. You can use it to take notes, voice notes. You can make checklists. The cool thing about Keep, I think, for the classroom is that those notes can be shared. So as you're walking around talking to students, you can actually take notes in Keep and then just share it with one of your students right off the bat. And again, sharing uses those email accounts. I use Keep on my phone, and then it syncs to my computer, kind of like some of the other tools. It has reminders, and then there's an extension called Panel View, which I'll show you in a sec, that lets you keep open all the time. So let me just show you. It's just keep.google.com. And it basically is a little note-taking tool here. I can add a note just by typing in here. Okay. You have different icons here. You can set a reminder. You can share your note. You can change the color of your note. You can add an image. You can archive your note so that you can go back to it later. And then there's 3 little dots here that allow you to add labels, or this is cool, you can copy your note to a Google Doc. So that's really, I think, pretty nifty. The extension I use is called Panel View, and Panel View simply takes Google Keep, and it's supposed to, in my other account anyway, it makes a little tiny panel about like that big.
Cool.
So, yeah, not working right now. Yeah, not working right now. But anyway, so that's Google Keep. I like that for keeping organized.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, yes, it's awesome. I like it for, you know, I like it for reminders especially. So, so we'll skip slides and forms. There's a whole bunch of other tools that you should, you know, maybe you'll have time to try, maybe you won't. And then my question for you before we take your questions is, what is one of the things that you'll try tomorrow? It's really important that you try one new thing, and so pick one thing from tonight and give it a try tomorrow. Okay, and then questions. So I'm going to unshare while we do questions.
Well done, Alice. Well done.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know. I want to try the magnetic poetry. For
Great.
sure. I don't even know why or how yet, or not why, but like in what application with my students, but that was really cool and a good introduction to draw for them, because a lot of my students, they know the basic functions of Docs and Drive, but they haven't played with Draw yet, and it seems like a really good way to get them comfortable with using that to make infographics. And Billy says you can't see me.
I can see you.
Oh.
Oh, maybe it's just me. Never
It's
mind.
only you, Billy.
Just me slacking over here.
So
There we go. Sorry.
anyway, I'm definitely going to try that tomorrow for sure. It's Friday, might as well have some messy time trying something new that we can then use in more applications in the future. That's my try thing. But anyways, I just hijack questions.
Yeah, do you girls have any questions?
I want to say that I'm going to try the, not tomorrow because we have a professional development day, but maybe on Monday, trying the research aspect of Google Docs and being able to insert links directly to web pages and whatnot. So I'm trying to implement a research project with my 7th graders, so I think that would be really cool to introduce them to, and then to have them create their own docs and provide links and stuff to their research that they're doing. So we'll figure that out. We'll mess through it together.
Fabulous.
Cool. And we know Emma is, we can't get Emma on the mic. You feeling good, Emma? Got any questions for Alice?
I answered her one question in the chat.
Okay, great.
Hopefully she saw that. Hi, Jeff.
And if you want to tell us, do you guys see my screen here?
Yep.
All right, so got to do a cheap plug, of course, here. So if you want to continue the conversation, we can this Saturday at South Portland. Alice will be there, and she'll be running a session similar to this one. We also have a Google Form session. Definitely join us. Jeff, who just hopped on, will be there. Becca will be there running a session on PLN and proficiency-based education. I got a couple sessions going on. It'll be a good time. And I know, Caitlin, you're coming to check it out, aren't you?
Yes. Yep.
Cool. Caitlin will be there. So we look forward to meeting you in person, Caitlin.
Yes.
Awesome. And Alice, we want to thank you. That was perfect. That was fabulous. You're a sweetheart. Thank you for doing this for our students. And I'm glad we got. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, this has been great. I very much, and Emma, I see your question. I'm sending aside chat, and we can pursue that in a little bit. But before we go there, like Alice, I really appreciate all of the thought and detail you put into creating this presentation, and I hope that students here and those who will review this online later on will glean something valuable and share what they try in their classrooms or hope to try in their classrooms after seeing an assortment of new tools. I mean, I'm probably going to have one of those nights where it's hard to go to sleep because I'm so excited about collaborating and learning.
Yeah. And I'll just kind of end by saying you know, again, there's a lot to know about these tools, but like Alice said, just try something tomorrow. You build off that. You may fall flat on your face, but you get to model to your students what you expect of them to take risks. So if we expect our students to take risks and to be creative and innovative and try new things, then we got to model that for them. And it's okay to fail in front of your students, and it's okay to show them that you make mistakes too. So we're here to answer your questions, anything GAFE throughout the semester, and as we progress, hopefully you'll be more comfortable, but ask us questions. That's what it's all about, and don't be afraid to try something new and figure it out.
Any closing words, Alice?
I'm just going to put the link to this presentation in the chat if anybody wants to go through it again, so that you can play with some of those tools if you would like. I'll just leave all those documents available to anybody who wants to fool around with them. So, and thanks a lot for having me. This was really fun.
Oh, anytime. This may not be the first time, Alice. And I'll see you Saturday. I'll see you, Caitlin, Emma. We'll be sharing lots of different opportunities to go to conferences and meet us and other classmates. And Jeff, probably see you at some point. But thank you, Alice. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks for hosting, Billy. It's going to be a good semester.
Yeah, we'll see Jeff Saturday. We'll see you. See most of you Saturday. Thank you.
All right.